We're here. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode here as we do our weekly roundup of Star Wars news, and not just Star Wars news, Lucasfilm news overall. But yes, it is your boy Darth Eternal here with my co-host, who is muted at the moment. Still muted at the moment. Well, we'll work out that kink pretty soon. So today we have a lot of stuff to talk about. As Darth Hater, Darth Hater. You're mute. You're still muted. I don't know how. I didn't mute you. I swear. I don't know what's going on. There we go. There we go.
You hear me now?
There you go. You're here. You're here.
There we go.
There we go. There we go, guys. There we go. Well, welcome. Like I said, your boy Darth Eternal here with my co-host.
Darth Hater.
There you go.
Yeah.
Today we had, dude, there's been a lot of news. A lot of Star Wars stuff has come on. Not just Star Wars, Lucasfilm overall. And you've covered
a lot of Lucasfilm news from...
You've covered, some of the other stuff, correct?
Well, yeah, as far as the Indiana Jones stuff, that's been like hitting a lot lately.
Yeah, it has for sure. You've been holding out for a while because you knew about this trailer, correct?
I had the trailer. Like I was telling you, so if you guys know, I had the D23 trailer that was leaked. It was only leaked for like 20 minutes or less. And then it was on Instagram, and then one of my homies, that's in the Indiana Jones community, sent it to me. So I've had the trailer for the longest time, and I'm like, I wanted to put it out or talk about it, but at the same time, I wasn't obviously not trying to get in trouble with Lucasfilm or anything. So I'm just like, I'm gonna just wait.
Yeah. He said, I don't want to get in trouble with Lucasfilm. That's funny.
It's a little different. It's funny because it was like a little different than the one that came out was like a little different than a D23 trailer that I got.
Really? That's interesting. That's interesting. Well, we know we have. I'm so sorry. I just burped. I just had like a whole dinner in like 30 minutes. I had to like shove down my throat. Yeah, there's
a lot. Man, I'm sick over here.
Oh no, man. Feel better, dude. Feel better. I'm sure everybody's pulling for you right now.
Yeah. Thankfully not COVID, just seasonal flu crap everybody's getting.
Yeah. That'll do it to you. But we have Mandalorian news. You want to go into season 3 of Mando and talk about the latest news, the latest trend?
Yeah, let's do it.
So we got a whole bunch of news on season 3 of Mando, and there's not a bunch, but it's just more like what to expect. And we supposedly there's this new image from the actual, or there's a scene from the actual, which I wanted to ask you, from the new trailer that we got at the, what is it, the CCX or I forgot the
CCX
name.
Brazilian Comic-Con. That's basically, that's all I... Yeah, that's all everybody. I don't know why CCX. I've just been calling it Brazilian. Everybody's been just calling it Brazilian Comic-Con.
Yeah, we'll just call it that. We'll call it. But it appears that Mando goes to Coruscant.
Yeah.
What do you think that's about? What do you think that's for? Because honestly, I really have no idea why we would even go to Coruscant during this time.
He did kind of bring in and turn in what's his name, Moff Gideon. So then last we saw, Moff Gideon was arrested, by everybody, and they were going to take him back to the Republic.
And on Coruscant, that's where the, what is it, ISB, which we just learned about in Andor. So I guess that's another tie, correct?
Well, he was ISB, I believe, but obviously the Empire's disbanded, so it's whatever Republic, thing they have going on Coruscant. That's what they're going to take him to.
Hold on for a second. Let me ask you, because I'm throwing a blank right now. That scene when we see what's his name? Admiral Lux. That's his name. The one from the. Oh my gosh, bro! I can't. From the First Order. You know what I'm talking about? The Lux. Isn't that his name? Admiral Lux.
From the First Order.
Yeah, the one with the red hair. You know what I'm talking about? Who ends up being the
Oh, General Hux. Oh
General
yeah,
Hux. There
yeah,
we go.
yeah. The
When he gives
Weasley.
that, right, when he gives that speech and everybody's out, is that on Coruscant?
No, that's Hosnian Prime. It looks
Oh,
like
that's
Coruscant. And I know that threw everybody off, and everybody was like, "Did it destroy Coruscant?" No, that so they destroyed Hosnian Prime. So they moved the Republic Senate from Coruscant to Hosnian Prime.
Do you think that maybe it could be that planet? Because we don't really know necessarily. Like that's just people assuming that it's Coruscant. It's not necessarily a fact. We don't know. They haven't put it
I'm,
out yet.
I mean, they look similar. Like the scene in Force Awakens when they blew up the planet, it looked very simple. Like I didn't even know until like they confirmed it wasn't.
Right, right, right. But I'm saying comparing it to Mando, could it be that that's where maybe Mando went to Hosnia Prime? Maybe not Coruscant.
Maybe. I mean, this is like, after this is after the, Galactic Civil War and
Right.
like I don't know when they moved the Senate and everything over there, so it could be.
Yeah,
It
because
could
that's what I
be.
was thinking. Because it's the same thing that happened. Remember when they were showing it with the Kenobi series? Was it Kenobi or whatever? They were like, "Oh, it's the Millennium Falcon," and it's like, no, it was like something totally different. So like that's I'm just like, there's always little things that will be like, "Oh yeah,
Kenobi?
yeah." Was it Kenobi? Remember that shit that it was like everybody, like, "Oh my god, it's the." Everybody thought it was the Millennium Falcon or some other thing. Remember?
No, that was Book of Boba and it was like in a trailer. I'm like, that's not the Falcon. Come on now.
Oh, there we go. That's what it was. Yes, yes, yes. That's
Because
what it was.
everybody was so hell bent thinking that like Han Solo was gonna like pop up in the series and Boba and Han were gonna have like a showdown again.
Yeah, no, it's not happening. Not happening at all.
Everybody's like,
But
oh, they DH Harrison Ford for Boba. It's like, no, they DH him for Indy.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Now, let me ask you this. I mean, I think this is what I want to talk about because I feel like this is the juicy stuff, right? We know there's going to be cameos for sure. Like that's without a doubt. Do you believe the biggest cameo that has to appear is none other than Sabine Wren?
I mean, she would have to because like they're going to Mandalore, and at one point in time, she did hold the dark saber, and like she was uniting the clans to fight the Empire and rebels. So
Right,
either we'll see her, her mom. I forgot, Clan Ren. Like I forgot what little offshoot planet they're on. They're in the Mandalore system, but it's been so long since I watched like all those series. I just and there's so many Mandalorian little planets and moons, so I'm
right,
pretty sure we're gonna see a lot of characters that popped up that were from Clone Wars and Rebels.
right. Yeah, I definitely think so. I think that she makes the most sense. Kind of like going back to what you said, how she had given Bo-Katan the dark saber, and I think that
Hmm.
one of the things that we're also forgetting is like obviously we know, but like people forgetting. Not too long ago, we got released an image, or there was like kind of like news circulating around Moff Gideon, how he is gonna be wearing kind of like the helmet similar to the. Remember when Darth Maul had taken over?
Oh yeah, the Darth Maul night Death Watch. Yeah,
That's
well,
why,
they're all
yeah.
wearing the yeah.
Well, I think that if there's gonna be any ties, I just feel like it has to be Sabine Wren. I feel like that because I don't think Bo-Katan and Mando are gonna go against each other. I think that they might have some back and forth, but I actually think now, hear me out. This is what I think. I think Sabine Wren ends up being the balance between the two to not fight over that dark saber. And she ends up letting Mando keep that dark saber. And I think they come to like some sort of a mutual agreement because of Sabine Wren, and maybe she understands possibly because you saw it in Rebels, like like she got very humbled real quick, especially she has like the training with Ezra and everything. Um, I really believe she's that balance between the two. I think it would be so dope to see that play into live action, and also too, you also get that chance to bring in the Ghost Crew, to see them as like a little like kind of little warm up, right? Because that's what Mando has done overall with a lot of the cameos now that have shows such as Boba Fett and Ahsoka. You got like you got one episode, and well, Boba's had more than one episode, but overall, and Ahsoka as well. But you have episodes on them, or that they're featured in, and look at it now, they got their own series. You know,
Hmm.
so
Well, I mean. I think, like you said, is right. She's going to be balanced between the two. But I remember there was an article reading from leaks or whatever talking about that she's going to be Bo-Katan is going to be the main antagonist for Mando in the show, obvious reasons because she wants the dark saber.
Right,
So I think it's like they're going to be, like you said, they're going to be back and forth with each other, and then Sabine Wren, if she's in the show, might be that middle ground. But all in all, at the end of the day, it's going to be Moff Gideon or whoever or whatever, going to be the real bigger threat,
right,
like
right.
looming in the background. Like it's classic bait and switch.
Yeah, I agree. I think that that's what we're gonna see a lot of in season three, of the
Hmm.
series. I mean, I think season three over. I feel like season three for Mando is gonna hit the hardest out of all of them. I don't even think season four or five will even get to that point. I mean, unless I mean, do you think? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, I have no clue where they're gonna go after season three. I feel like from all the stuff that we know, I know, and I feel like I have a firm grasp on what's actually going to happen and how it's going to pan out. But as far as
Right,
season
right,
four and five go, the only thing I can think and say about that is it's probably going to tie into the other shows, and then they're going to have that culmination, of all the shows together, and then that Avengers moment, like Dave and John were talking about way back when.
well, that's a good point you bring because they had talked about too. I remember at one point that I know that Pedro Pascal is signed on for 5 seasons. He is, because they did that extension. But
Hmm.
I also remember, and I know you probably remember, this is a little while ago that they had mentioned that after season three, if I'm not mistaken, that seasons 4 and 5 will kind of just be kind of like they would change. Remember, they were talking about changing the name of it, that they were gonna, like, instead of calling it the Mandalorian, it was gonna just be like Mandalore or something like that. Because I know that they were talking about that for a little while, where they were gonna change it because it wouldn't be his show anymore. It would just kind of be a show, and then like have like other features in
Like
it,
he has a crew.
right? And it would just because
uh,
yeah, and I think that'd be cool because I don't
the
I
Mandos.
yeah the Mandos, right? Or like I don't know, like
They
Tales of
just they just put S on it, but the Mandalorians, where it's like instead of like rebels, instead of a rebel,
right.
you got a whole crew. Maybe they'll do that.
Tales of the Mandalorians, something like that. I don't know, just something to throw out because I feel like 3 seasons is enough for Din's story, and I think that him going to Mandalore, I feel like wraps up his story, and just overall bringing it back to Mandalore, I feel like it really wraps it up, and I just can't see what more he has to contribute to the galaxy at that point in time after season three. I mean, of course he's gonna be a thing, but I mean, possibly maybe season 4 and 5 maybe is more focused on Grogu. They just kind of died down, like the amount of episodes they have. Because I think what they usually have about 8 episodes a season.
No, no, they have way more than that. I feel like
Oh, 12,
I
like
feel,
it's 12 or 15.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, they have like 12
12,
episodes. Like they have a
episodes.
lot.
So maybe they cut it down to just like maybe like 6 for the next 2 seasons. That's what I see happening because, or hear me out. Maybe they have kind of like what you said before, but it could be where because we know the skeleton crew's coming up. Maybe they intertwined.
Mm.
That's what they do with the series. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
I don't know, man. It's so much. It's so much Star Wars to like wrap your head around, and like timelines and like how characters are gonna fit in, and how like with Skeleton Crew. I was thinking the other day, I had like a theory, like because they're all supposed to be force sensitive. What if that's like the first batch of like, aside from Grogu, the first batch of like younglings for Luke Skywalker's new Jedi temple?
That could be another maybe, and then Jude Law's character, his goal is to get them somewhere like like that academy, or he ends up
Hmm.
finding it or coming across, and that's how you finish season one of the Skeleton Crew. Not a bad idea.
Well, if that happens, I hope he doesn't, because we all know what happens to those kids.
Those kids pay. Those kids definitely pay a
Hmm.
price. So
It
yeah,
does not. It does not pay to be a Jedi youngling in Star Wars. Like in the prequels, you guys are done. Sequels done.
yeah, no, it's
Hmm.
unfortunately oh Gesundheit. The outcome is not so good for young for younglings in Star Wars. Um
Hmm.
yeah, but I mean
It's like
that's
a
pretty
death
much it.
sentence.
Yeah, yeah, I was gonna say for Mando. For younglings, yeah, for younglings, yeah. There's no hope for them, unfortunately. I mean, look at freaking Broom Boy. He like had one. He had one scene or two or three scenes, and that's it. We never heard of him. They canned his ass.
Hey,
So
it was more important to like set those weird horse thing Faviers free than it was to set the kids free.
5 years, was that what they were called? 5 years.
Yeah, they were called Faviers. I remember that was like the ones.
Those like you talking about the
Even though I don't like that movie that much, I still remember like bits and pieces of it, and it's
you
anyway.
talking about you talking about those glass horses?
No. Those are foxes. I'm talking
Oh,
about in the
foxes.
Last Jedi, like when they went to Canto Bight and they freed those horses, those weird horse things that they
Oh,
were racing through the city. They're
yeah,
called
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Faviers.
yeah. And they kind of like give that glance, like, like I think one like even broke a tear or some shit like that.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, so we're gonna set the animals free that are probably gonna get caught, like, rounded up, and versus the kids who just like slave labor.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. Well, I think that wraps up Mando. Let's talk about the biggest elephant in the room, and that is Jedi Survivor. Can we give a round of applause for that? Jedi Survivor. Finally, we get some good news on that. I'm excited, dude. I mean, my ass is buying a PlayStation 5. Not right now. Not right now. So hold your horses, guys. I'm not
Yeah,
buying it.
if you guys don't know, like we both don't have PS5. We both were like missed it, and then the hype died down. It was like, I'll get it when I get it. Now Jedi Survivor's coming out. It's like, no, we need PS5s.
Yeah, especially like after I heard the date. But you know what? I'm actually happy that they announced that the date is going to be, I think, on the 15th of March, which is a big month because that's when Mando comes out on March 1st. And also the book
Hmm.
comes out on the 8th of, I think it's called Battle Scars for Jedi Fallen
Yep.
Order. I'm sorry, Jedi Battle Scars. So it's a big month for Star Wars overall for Lucasfilm, shall I say. But I'm excited because first off, I don't know if you know this, but like, bro, I just found out now at GameStop they have this is like before taxes because now they were selling it. Before they were selling it with the bundle, but the PS5 they're selling it now just for the flat 500, which I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, I can do 500. I just couldn't do $700 to $800 for a freaking system. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing a whole bundle. I'm not doing that. I don't care about
I
the t-
hope I hope what they do is I hope they have like a Star Wars
bundle.
game like PS5, like
They
like whole
will.
bundle where you get the game and you get like the PS5 because they've done that with the last few. Like they did a Battlefront 1 and 2. Like I got both of those Star
Yeah.
Wars PlayStation, so maybe they'll do that with this because they haven't done that in a few years for obvious reasons.
Didn't you just post that on your Instagram too? You posted something, I think, on that, like on like what it was like to. Didn't you post something? I could have swore you posted something on that, on like a Rogue
About
One,
what?
like buying it or camping out. Remember we were talking about it, camping out for
Oh,
the.
we were just talking about it. We're just talking about, so a few years ago I did a release party for Battlefront 2 and they gave me the game and the Battlefront PlayStation along with it.
Damn, lucky you, bro. Shoot, I wish. Huh? I wish. But yeah, no. I thought you were like getting it. I'm like, oh, you got it still.
No, no, it's in my room. I'm not about to go rip that thing apart to go like, hey, look guys.
No, yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited. I think so. Let's talk about the facts from what we know. Actually, you know what? Let me pull up here. Let me see if I can pull it up because I'm actually really intrigued for the. I really, dude, I feel like this game, dude, he looks older, like really older. I don't know why, but like he just looks mad old, and it's only been like what 5 years?
Yeah, it's just 5 years. So obviously it's after Kenobi or whatever. I was watching
Oh,
something
same
today and they
time,
were talking about the
same,
timeline. It was like
same time,
same. It
bro.
was like it's like a year or a few months or something.
Nah, bro,
Turn
same
around.
time, same time. People are saying 9 years. I'm like, no, bro. Kenobi was 10 years after Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
I see people putting 9. I'm like, no, it's not 9. It pisses
It's
me off.
10,
Yeah,
specifically 10.
but people are literally putting 9 years, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, no, like it's 10 years.
Okay. So, Fallen Order, the first game is 5 years after, and then this game is 5 years after that. So, yeah, you're right. It is during Kenobi.
Yeah, it's that's why I remember we were talking about it for a while that like That's why I personally thought Cal Kestis was gonna be on the. I thought he was gonna be a part of it, which I felt like he needed to be because if this is the same time, but you know what? And I'm gonna show it here. This is what I personally I think that they're gonna do. Let me just see if I can. Oh, I have slides option. Oh, okay. What is this? Let me see. I'll check it out. Oh no, I don't have no slides. Unfortunately, I can't present the way I want to. But what I can do is oh no, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second, guys, for you watching now. I definitely want to. We're gonna. I'm just trying to pull it up. That's all I'm trying to do. Okay, here we go. So we have here the first one, which I think is really dope. We have the pre-order pack, the
Mhm.
pre-purchase now. I thought this was cool. I think it's so dope to have a tie from the movies finally. That I thought was really, really cool. And if you want to dive into it, you could explain it a little more.
Yeah, so this is the deluxe. This is the GameStop deluxe version where you can buy,
I think
right?
so. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah. So you pre-order it, and then you pre-order from get through GameStop, and then you get the Han Solo skin, you get Luke Skywalker ceremonial outfit, and then you get BD1 like with a R2D2 looking skin,
You like
and
that
I
one,
can't tell
right?
what that other one, huh?
You like the one, the BD1, with the cosmetic from
I
R2D2.
like the I like the R2 skin, like
Yeah.
he looks cool like a little like R2. Yeah, and then the other one I can't tell was I didn't know if it was like a Chewie skin or like a C3PO kind of skin because obviously you got
I,
Han Solo there.
I just think it. I mean, it just says rugged, so I don't really think it's anything. I just think it's just kind of like the same look as Han.
It's
That's kind of
dirty
what.
like the Falcon.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what it is. It's just the
Uh-huh.
same, which is cool. It's all right.
And then
And you know,
then you
yeah. Go
got the
ahead.
DL-44 Han Solo's blaster, and then Luke Skywalker inspired looking saber.
I think it's gonna be the same one. Do you think? What do you think about that? I think it's gonna be this. I just think it's the picture. That's
Well,
what.
I guess maybe the picture just looks weird, but yeah, it'll probably be his saber.
Yeah, I think it will, man. I think it will. I don't think it's gonna be because it looks funky here. It looks just very ovalish, like. But I think
Yeah, it doesn't have the features or the greeblies and the doodads on it like how it normally does.
right. But I do think that it's just kind of like the angle that they took it or they put it. Obviously, the art
Hmm.
whoever drew it and gave it up like the mock for it. I think it's cool though. I mean, which one? I mean, I think that it's cool to see that they're incorporating the stuff from the movies. I think that it's about time that we had that because
Because everybody was doing the mods, like I
yeah.
saw so many mods like afterwards.
Well, like I mean, think about it. Force Unleashed, you had those skins. Remember, in after you finished it, you were able to download it,
Hmm.
or if you had the cheat codes, you were able to
Or
download.
you could buy it. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, it's interesting to see. Now, my favorite out of all of the right now, from what we know of the DLC or the pre-purchase packaging or bonus, is I love this. You could explain it more.
Yeah, yeah. I'm more like the other ones are cool. I mean, the only one I probably would obviously do is probably the R2 for BD1, but you got, the Hermit pack, you got the pre-purchase pack. This is like if you just buy it, like aside from GameStop, you just pre-purchase the game on your own, and then you get the Kenobi inspired like Hermit, costume. So it's clearly Obi-Wan Kenobi. Then you have his episode 1 or episode 2 lightsaber, which looks pretty cool. Like that one, it's like, all right, that one kind of, looks a lot better than the Luke Skywalker one we just saw.
It looks
So that's
exactly the
cool.
same, literally.
Yeah, yeah, it's. And then on the other side, like you have what is that?
I don't know. It just
Combustion blaster,
I looked it
which
up.
sounds weird,
Uh,
but it's Jyn Erso's blaster, so I'm like, okay, that's random.
oh, it is Jyn Erso's blaster.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I'll be honest, when I did my video today, I didn't know whose blaster that was.
Yeah.
I just said blaster because I'm just like I couldn't even tell to be honest with you. But if that's hers, that's cool. But I mean, like, not. I wonder how they're gonna do it in this game. Because he didn't
Because
have
he
a.
has a blaster in this game, like in the cover art for that they released with all this stuff,
Ah,
like
yes,
he
he
has,
does. He
he has a
does. Yeah.
blaster on his hip, which
Yes.
is weird because I'm like in the game, first game, he didn't have a blaster, and now he's supposed to be more experienced. So you would think a more experienced like Jedi or whatever would not be using a blaster.
Well, I think I forgot her name. Who's the character that ended up like kind of like started to train him? What's her name? She did
Seer.
right. Sears. She did use a blaster, so it could be that he kind of learned from her how to shoot and everything like that. I mean, because again, you
But
have to
her
be
thing was she was trying not to be a Jedi. She didn't want to like
right,
you
right.
know.
So that could be the reason why we see blasters being a thing right now. That's what I'm assuming. I don't know, but I mean, it was
That's
cool.
it's just weird to me, Like even in the shows, like you see rebels and everything. Like at the beginning, everybody's like so like trying to hide their force powers, so they're using blasters, and then later on they just don't care and just like lightsabers out like all the time.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I don't know. That's why I'm curious to see. I'm really curious for just what overall this game is going to entail. I do want to pull up the poster. The poster looks really cool. I actually really like it. I saw a lot of people using it, especially today since there's been big news, right?
Hmm.
We've all been using it as our thumbnail.
Yeah.
It looks dope. Looks dope.
Yeah, see, honestly, I'd rather play the game in like his original version and whatever like skins you collect during the game, and then when I decide to play later on, then I'll be Obi-Wan or Han Solo or Luke or whatever.
I wonder if have you heard anything? I'm assuming that they I heard that they were talking about possibly making it like open world to continue it after you finish the game because that was their downfall with the first game Fallen Order, remember? Like you finished it and that was it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
because there's only so much you can do in that game, and the game is like not a lot of replayability. Like it's cool to play like one, maybe two times, and then that's probably kind of it. Like, you don't, there's nothing to really explore. There's no little, extra missions that you could download later. It's just one and done.
yeah, because I remember the first one, once you beat it, you were able to acquire, I think, the Imperial like suit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, his Inquisitor suit, like
The
from his little
Inquisitor.
dream sequence. Yeah.
Right, right, right. So I think that's what you were able to do, and I know they had like they kind of like had if whoever's played Gears of War, it's kind of like a horde mode where like you play, but like you keep battling like a lot of the villains from the game, and it just adds more and more and more until you can't obviously beat it no more. So uh,
Hmm.
you do have that. So I don't know. I'm hoping that they do add more to it. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna do that. What do you think this is anyway? You think this is like some new planet? What do you think from what you see?
Like with the colors, like the colors like really remind me of like Mustafar, but obviously there's no lava there. I don't know. It's probably
Yeah,
a new planet. I mean, if you watch the trailer, I know that ship. I forget the name of the Mantis or whatever. Yeah, that's the name of the ship.
yeah,
It
man.
like crashes on some planet. I can't tell what it is, but I don't know. The colors look very similar.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it could be one of the planets too that he did visit. Maybe he
Hmm.
revisits again in the actual game from the first one. So, I mean, that's another theory, but who knows? Um,
What do you think as far as gameplay goes? Like because last one we got like obviously a lot of Inquisitors, and then we got Vader, and this is supposed to take place during the same time as Kenobi. You think everybody's like so busy handling Kenobi, that's why you didn't get a lot of the Inquisitors that we know from the first game?
Possibly. I personally, it's funny. Somebody commented on my video from today. They were like Darth Vader versus Cal Kestis Part Two. Possibility, possibility. I mean, anything is possible. I don't think so, but
Yeah, I don't think so either.
it's a stretch. But I think that we might see because if you look in the book, I think we see the fifth brother on the cover. I think the fifth brother is going to be in this. I think that we might see the fifth brother in the Grand Inquisitor, and remember, and I think the reason why, personally, me, this is what I think. I think the reason why they added the Kenobi attire, I feel like we're going to see him in this game because remember they
Hello?
announced. Hello, there we go. Okay, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I hear
So okay, so hear me out. Remember that like I was saying about the Inquisitor, did you hear me with that part?
you. Yeah, fifth brother, yeah.
Right. I think we might see him, but remember they did announce at some point that we might see a Jedi, and I think the Jedi that we're going to see is Kenobi because why would they give us the hermit attire? I have a feeling that's what and remember Kenobi ended with him wearing that. So it might just be that Cal Kestis runs into an you know the hermit version of Kenobi with the with that attire from the comics and the last episode of the Kenobi series. I really believe that's what.
Yeah,
I don't think we're
something
gonna.
tells me we're gonna go to Tatooine again.
Yep, I really believe so, bro. Because why? Why? Think about it. Like Han, I could understand. Okay, maybe Luke. Fine, you want to add, but why would they add Kenobi? Think about it. And they added his. They added his lightsaber, the Phantom one, the Phantom Menace one. Dude, yeah, I'm telling you, it's too many similarities and the same timeline. If they didn't
Hmm.
capitalize on it in Kenobi, it's because they're gonna do it here, and they already said it. We're gonna see a Jedi in this game, one that that we do know of. People say Ahsoka. I don't think it's Ahsoka. I think it's gonna be. I think it's Kenobi. I
It,
really.
that or maybe Voss. There's still like a lot of there's still a lot
Nah,
of people.
I can't think boss. I'm sorry. I think I can't. I don't even think. I mean, he could be. He could be. Don't get me wrong. It could be boss, but I just think that seeing the attire, I think that's why.
Yeah,
I think it's because I really believe that we're gonna see him in the game with the goggles and every. I just think that I think what you said is true. I think we might go back to Tatooine. I really do believe so. I think he
I
might.
just hope we don't, man,
I
because it's
know.
like we've been there so much lately, and I'm any other cool planets that are like in Star Wars that we could go back to that they haven't touched on in like years.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, what's a planet that you want to see them, I guess, go to that we haven't
Oh, go
heard
to
of? Or
Yavin. You know what would be cool? What they could do? It would be cool if they say like they went to like Yavin 4 or something, because there's such a a rich history with like that planet. Aside from like it being like the rebels, base, but there's like a huge history before all that. Like you know,
right, and we know that we're going to be getting that in season 2 of Andor, so that's going to be cool.
hmm
Um, maybe that's something that they could tie into it, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I really wouldn't. I think there's so many unknowns. It's like even for example, the villain for the game, like who the hell is the villain? Like nobody knows. It's like this ancient Sith, but like we don't know who it could possibly be. I don't even think it's. I don't think it's anything that we know of. I think it's going to be something out of left field. Like that's why I think this game is going to hit
yeah.
so hard. I really think. I feel like, to be honest with you, too. You know what I was thinking? I was like, this would be if they're adding all these skins. To be honest with you, I would love to see Star Killer's skin in it. Like to see his like attire and like the lightsaber. That'd be so dope, dude. What if? Let me ask you this question. I don't think that has to do with, but what if? Because they've been talking about it for a while, or this is just like a theory that's lingering. What if like they incorporated some form of Star Killer into all of this, like during this timeline, but they like watered down the version of Star Killer that we know as an Inquisitor that possibly is not with Vader anymore. Like, what do you think about all that? Because that's what I've been dying to ask you. I don't think we've ever come to that.
I mean, you already know how I felt about like Star Killer. Like they can't put him in anything Star Wars now because he breaks Star Wars. But if they were to put him in and just like nerf him a lot, like make him still powerful but cool, but like he's not able to beat Vader and the Emperor, like okay, yeah, that's fine, but he can't be snatching down starships. He can't be he can't
Yeah,
be, like disintegrating stormtroopers. Like he can't be like God mode OP.
right.
He has to be OP, but not that crazy. So I
Well,
mean, they could do that, and I'm pretty sure they probably will eventually.
well, let me ask you this, maybe because I don't remember the timeline really too much, but I know it a little. The first one takes place, doesn't it? It doesn't the first one take place like 5 years before episode 4, like five,
hmm
right? The second one takes place literally this, if I'm not mistaken, the same time because that's why you get Luke Skywalker in it, the second one. So it takes place around.
No, no. The second one takes place like still like right before A New Hope, but
Well,
all that stuff that they did was like the DLC. It was kind of like a what if, like
yeah,
he killed Vader and all that kind of crap.
right. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they could add it. I feel like they can add him into it if it's through a video game. I think they need to keep him in the video games, unfortunately. I don't think bringing him into live action would do anything. I think seeing him in the video games is a little bit better, just because you can do more
Yeah,
character. I've thought about it and I've kind of repented a little on it. I'm like, you know what? I'm cool with him being in the
because
video
think about it. If you put him into Star Wars, like
a
Lucasfilm
show.
shot themselves. If they shot themselves in the foot because they made this stupidly OP character who literally is like the most powerful person almost in Star Wars, and if they put him in the movies, it's just like he outshines everybody. He's not supposed to do that. He's supposed to be a nice like cool side character, not like this dude is the end all be all of Jedi and Sith. He shouldn't be that. But they did that for the games because it's a video game. You have to make you
Right.
know
You got to make
you have to
money.
make it. Yeah, you got to make money. You got to make this like game like all crazy because like we've had so many Star Wars games where you play cool
Yeah.
characters or cool Jedi, but nothing where it's like he's like like it's Star Wars on steroids. Like that's not this Star Wars. That's not George Lucas Star Wars. Isn't any Star Wars anymore.
Yeah. Oh, we know that. We learned that with Andor, bro.
Yeah,
We learned that with
yeah,
we learned that with Andor for sure.
yeah,
David Lopez, welcome, welcome. I wish Disney would make shows in between the original trilogy. You know,
yeah. We were
that's
talking about that too. Yeah,
yeah, that would be a good one, man. I feel like I think if they were to do a show, honestly, I think they will. I think at some point they will do it. I just think that they're trying to do other things and explore different realms. I mean, I think the biggest one really to explore is episode. What is it? Episode 5 and 6. That's really the one you really need to explore. I feel like there's a lot there. I mean, overall, there's a lot between 4 and 5 as well. But I mean, personally, me, I would want to see between five and
there's
six. What about
3 years between 4 and 5. It's 3 whole years, and then
you? Yeah,
five. They keep switching it, but I think like between episode 5 and 6, there's like a couple years, like
yeah,
one or
something.
two.
Yeah, so I think it's like I don't know, 1 or 2, but so much happens in those years. Like even if it's 1 year, I mean, we see it in Star Wars. Even with 6 months, like things are changed like dramatically or drastically. So I mean, it's like the Bad Batch. Things happen like so. Look how Omega looks like mad older, and it's only been like 7 or 8 months. That's what I mean. It's like things are always changing in Star Wars. It's
Hold
just
on, 1 second.
yeah,
One
you're good.
second.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I mean, it's just overall, how can they, execute this with, with a lot of the shows or the movies as well? Because this is the thing is like, I would want shows, but it's like also too, what happens to the movies? Like, I feel like we need to get back on track with the movies. I think it's cool going the show route, but I think now as Star Wars is like getting, we're having more content come out. We have like the games. Like, I feel like, for example, Cal Kestis, whatever you may have it or whatever is going to come out of it, they can do a movie on it. They can do a nice movie, where it gives an explanation, talks about, Marin, the Night Sister as well. Like that's a whole nother thing too that they can explore in live action. What I was saying is, Darth Hater, that
Mhm.
I think the show route is cool, but we need to get back to the movies. I think that's what's really been missed a lot. And I think the shows are cool. I think the shows are cool. I'll let you explain your piece. I just personally want to go to the movies again. And what I was saying with Cal Kestis is that I think that once they're done with the video game route, they can bring Cameron Monaghan in. They can, introduce him into live action with a movie or something and kind of tell a tale of his story, even with the Night Sister Marin. I think and I'm not mistaken, she's like the last Night Sister that we know of right now. So that would be really cool to see what they could do with that. But go ahead, you could chime in.
I don't. Well, she's not the last one because what's her name? From um Mando that Ahsoka fought was one of them. She was from Dathomir,
Oh, you're right. Yes, you're right. You're right. You're
the
totally
magistrate
yeah.
or
The
whatever her
magistrate.
name was.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But they shot themselves in the foot because they made so many like comics in between 4 and 5, and like nobody cares. It's like nobody reads those comics anymore. I mean, they're cool, but it was cool, and then it kind of fell off. It's like
I
go make a TV show, go make a movie in between 4 and 5. Like you already did that with Rogue One. It showed people that people want to see original trilogy content around that time, around like the Civil War. They don't care about anything else.
I think I personally think that I think I'll bring up this point to you, and I think you'll probably agree. Then I think that timeline is valid or in the comics because of Kira. I think that with Crimson Reign now or Crimson Dawn, they've resurfaced that timeline and made it relevant. So I think if they're gonna do anything, they need to finish telling her story first, and that's something that I've been dying for because I want to see what happens. Like I'm still curious to see. Like I know we know Maul is dead, obviously, but I want to see that interaction between the two, and then her take over. Like see like a time jump of like them talking, then like whatever, like 5 to 7 years later, her running Crimson Reign because in the comic book, she even. I mean, we know Crimson Dawn slash Crimson Reign goes as far as seeing the Knights of Ren. So
Hmm.
that timeline, apart from what we know of the Skywalker trilogy, and everything, there's a lot that goes down. And also, too, like, the other story that I'm surprised that they haven't introduced her character yet, Dr. What is it? Afra. Like, she's another character that I feel like is like sorely missed. Like, she would have been honestly not for nothing, bro, but like I would have loved to see her character in the Andor series. I think she would have been great for the Andor series because
Dude, they they had the perfect opportunity to introduce her in Book of Boba. Like, her and what's his name, Black Chrysanthemum were like homies. Like
yeah.
Vader like hired both of them to do like dirty work for him. Like, that whole Vader down whole thing. That she should have been in that. I feel like she's coming, but I don't know when. Obviously,
Yeah, I think that if anybody's gonna make that jump other than Kira, I mean, I think I think it's either these two. I think it's either Dr. Afra or I think it's gonna be her or Emily Clark's Kira at some point in time because Emily Clark already said it in an interview already, which we've done. She wants to come back. She wants to play Kira again. I mean, I think everybody who's played a character in Lucasfilm wants to always come back. It's just whether
yeah. If you
it's
play a
just
character in Star Wars, it's like I want to come back. Oh yeah.
yeah, like they don't even care if they're dead. Like, please tell it. I mean, look at freaking Cassian Andor. If they did a series on him, I mean, you can do a series on anybody. And so, like, okay. So I'll be the first to say this. I don't want to, like, whatever, but not that I'm not knocking Andor, but it's like, it's a story that personally, like, I don't really care for. And I mean this so respectfully. I'm not trying to downplay or downgrade anybody who likes the show or whatever, but I just feel like a story like Dr. Afra is so dope. And I feel like a lot of people, I don't know, maybe a lot of people don't really know who she is or don't really read the comics. Maybe comics now aren't really a thing anymore, Darth Vader. I mean, maybe you could disagree. I don't know, but I feel like we're losing it because we're settling for shows like Andor. Not that it's bad, because the writing's phenomenal. But I just feel like a story like Doctor, Afra, it's one that needs to be done because she has such a long history with Vader, like you mentioned, Black Chrysanthemum, just overall with a lot of the bounty hunters. She needs to be, talked about. I feel like she needs to be brought up, just like Emily Clark's Kira. I just feel like they're all missed opportunities that they're not focusing on. Like they're giving us characters that we kind of already know their fate, which we already knew, obviously, because I've been brought up the point where like, oh, we know Kenobi, Anakin, and Boba Fett, we know their fates, but like, yeah, but these are characters that are loved, that are established, but like Cassian Andor, I didn't need a story on him. I felt like it was cool to see what happened with the Empire and now the rebellion, but I just feel like they're missing out on a lot of characters. Like, I don't know, it's just a lot of missed opportunities. But what do you think, bro?
I mean, honestly, if they did Andor before we got Rogue One, that would have made more sense. It would have been a build up to Rogue One, and it would have been like, oh man, that payoff at the end with Rogue One. Okay, I get it. But
Right.
this is, well after the doubt. And as far as what's her name, Afra goes, I think because what's her name, Ewan McGregor's wife,
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
not wife, Emily Weinstead. She got cast in Ahsoka. And I think I did a video about it a while ago, like a long time ago, and I was like thinking, like, wouldn't it be kind of funny if they actually end up casting her as Afra because she kind of looks like her, and
Yeah.
I feel like with and we were talking about how like Andor, I'm not Andor, Ahsoka might go with to the world between worlds and deal with like archaeological stuff, and like that's her whole thing, that's her spiel. So, and I feel like, with her personality and her acting style, I feel like she could really pull that character off. But the only
Not,
thing I think it would probably piss off a lot of other people, a lot of Star Wars fans, because with the whole everybody feels like Disney's agenda is to put like like some kind of like she's I think she's not bi. I forget what she is specifically, but I know that people don't read the comics and be like, oh, another character they're trying to pander, to a certain community too.
Yeah, I mean, people. I mean, I just think overall, a character like her, I think, needs to just be explored overall. I think that if they're gonna
Yeah.
add stuff like that, I just think that maybe done the right way, they can give an explanation, give the foundation of her story, and make it make sense. I mean, again, they can do whatever they want with characters like that because they're molding it now. It's their character. You know what I'm saying? Like they can
Hmm.
do whatever they want because there's no real origin other than online or something like that or in the comics, but you can make it whatever you want, and that's the beauty of it. So if they want to make her whatever they want to make her or whoever, that's fine, because it's a character that really isn't established, that we've never heard of in live action or haven't even been referenced in the shows at all. So
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens with her character, or we'll just see overall what they do with what comes out with. Because I feel like Jedi Survivor is gonna give us a lot, and I think we're gonna have some spin-offs from that as well. I think that we're gonna see a lot. I mean, who's to even say, bro? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if no, actually, no. Let me not even go that route. We'll save that for a different time. Um, but let's jump the other gun now with this is something you're gonna have to cover because I don't know much about. Obviously, I know it, but you know more. This is your realm, Indiana Jones 5. Excited? What do you have to say to everybody watching that will watch? I mean, the floor is yours, bro. This is your realm.
I'm excited, but also same time a little hesitant, and there's a lot of controversy right now because like the trailer's out and there's been like a lot of leaks about like story plot about like what's going to happen that's going to kind of pissing a lot of people off.
Really? Like what
um
was pissing people off? I'm curious.
so there was a whole leak a while back by like the Doomcock guy and like and some other people off of like Reddit that obviously this movie potentially is going to take, it's either going to have a lot of time travel in it or flashbacks, either or. They came out with the title. What was it? The Dial of Destiny, and dial, like, what does that mean? It obviously has to do with something with time or clocks. Anyway, the main thing that's pissing people off is like you have young Indy and you have old Indy, and they're saying that old Indy and like his goddaughter go back in time. Something happens towards the end of the movie. Young Indy dies, and then old Indy, like, erases from time, like Back to the Future status. And then the girl takes the hat and like becomes a new Indiana Jones, and like nothing ever happened, to not, and then erases him from history, like totally. So Indiana Jones never happened. It's just her.
That's kind of stupid.
Yeah,
That
and
just
the
doesn't make sense.
director just, yeah, now when you think about that, that sounds like dumb, right? And that would piss you off as a fan, right? If they did
Well,
that.
yeah, because I mean, I've seen all the movies. Like, why would you do that? That doesn't. So you're gonna erase and just say it never happened.
Yeah, it never happened, and then she went on and like, redid his story, but the girl version. So it'd be like Raiders of the Lost Ark, but it'd be her. Or Temple of Doom and it's her, or Last Crusade is her. But then the director just came out talking about he's seen all this stuff and he's like, that's false, that's stupid, we're not going to do all that, like, everybody's just doing this for clickbait and blah blah blah. And you know I at first I didn't know what to believe, but I kind of believe him, obviously, because if you look at his track record in movies, like Logan, like hit hard. I forget the name of his other movie. It hit really hard. Like all his movies are good. Like he's not the type of director who would do that. Like he loves Indiana Jones. So for like a real fan to come up and like mess up the series and do something like that will be like absurd.
Right.
And this was Kathleen Kennedy's first job. Like she helped, produce like all these movies. So you know, between that and then Harrison Ford being so happy and like crying at D23, it's like he wouldn't sign on to a movie where they did him dirty.
Right. So you think that maybe it's just kind of like bullshit, and you think that maybe it's a different ending that we don't know about.
Well, the thing is, they filmed a bunch of alternate endings for this movie, and that could be one of them.
Mm. Okay,
There's
that's
like I
interesting.
said, there's a lot of stuff that like is happening with this whole movie and this whole story. And because we're supposed to get this movie like last year, but then they stopped for reshoots and a bunch of other stuff. So that
Mhm.
could potentially be the thing. And then there was this whole talk about, there was a test screening and everybody hated it. And then the director came out blatantly said there was no test screenings. Nobody's seen the movie yet.
Mm. Okay, not bad. Not bad. That's interesting. I mean, and you know, what do you know if they're gonna do like with if they're gonna do a spin-off, or what are they gonna do necessarily? Are they gonna do a TV series like or another movie?
Yeah,
So what are they
they're do-
doing?
they're doing a TV series, but at the same time, we don't know what it's about. We don't know if it's gonna like
Be a prequel or
take
sequel?
up prequel, sequel, or take up her story because she's his goddaughter from the guy from the first movie, Brody. He used to hang out with the guy who worked at the school. That's his, I guess, his daughter or granddaughter, and
Yeah,
Indy
the
is like the
principal, the
goddaughter.
dean, or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
yeah. So it's like, okay, they're trying to say she's gonna take over. Everybody's trying to say like, oh, they're gonna make her take over the series, and I'm like, they're not gonna alienate like the fans. They already kind of had a misstep with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I don't think
That
they
was
want to make the series
yeah,
worse than like that.
yeah. That was really bad. I saw. I remember that. That wasn't. But yeah, no.
So like, and the major thing, everybody, the trend now is to hate on everything Lucasfilm does because of missteps with Star Wars. So like that's Indiana Jones is under like the magnifying glass right now when it comes to all that.
Damn, damn. That's a lot, man. Yeah, I mean they. I mean, look. Overall, for Disney, next year is a win. For Lucasfilm, I mean, you're kind of like you're biting your nails. You know. I mean,
And then
Guardians of the
oh no,
Galaxy and that. Go ahead.
and then another thing which I was at, well, I'm gonna make the video about it later on because it's. But anyway,
There's
so you
more.
remember the old? There's a lot more, dude. There's so much to this whole thing. That's why I was just like, oh man, that was a loaded question when you asked me. Oh, like you really want to know? There's a lot.
Hey man, people are gonna watch this. They're gonna want to know what's going on. We have the thumbnail there, so we gotta explain it. Question: I do have a question for you though. That image that we do have as the thumbnail, is that? Where does that take place? Because it looks like he's in like New York, or it's like somewhere back.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
in
so
New York.
and this is like
So
that's the time jump you're talking about, or time travel.
well, like I said, I don't know if it's a flashback when you see young him, but I actually know it is probably a flash. It is time travel because you see him in the trailer, seeing a younger him wearing like a Nazi uniform,
Right.
seeing on. But that whole thing, he's in 1969 New York, and it's the backdrop is like the moon Apollo 11, like the moon landing, like the celebration, the Tinker celebration they had in New York around that time, and then he's having his like chase through New York. So that's what that's for.
Damn. Yeah, I mean that trailer, bro. That trailer when I saw that thing hit so hard, I was like, damn, this is gonna be crazy, bro. Like
But
this.
the real thing that's kind of like I told you about both stories is it's making me kind of like feel a little weird is so on Paramount Plus they put the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. You remember that show?
Yeah.
So in that, like it's young Indiana Jones going through all his adventures, and then there they have an old Indiana Jones with an eye patch, like telling the stories. It's like old Indy like talking about when he was young.
Right.
They put it on there, but they took old Indy out of those episodes. They re-edited the show and took him out. And people are thinking like, all right, they took him out, then that means like his story is reset because if he dies in the movie and then the old Indy disappears, then you don't get that anymore.
Mm, mm, yeah. So I
So
guess
that's
that's
what
the
I'm
big.
just like, we'll see.
I mean, overall, you think that for this being the last one for him, you think it'll hit? I'll end it there with that question.
Yeah, it. It has. I mean, it's gonna hit. It will hit, and James Mangold like did perfectly for Logan for like Hugh Jackman's supposed last outing as like Wolverine.
Yeah, he did kill it with that. I can't even front. That was a great movie.
Yeah. So
If that would
yeah,
have been his last movie, they ended it so good.
yeah. I'm like people left that movie crying. I'm just like if they hit Indiana Jones that hard and hopefully not kill him, like I'm like yeah, it's gonna hit regardless.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. Well, this week has been a long one. There's been a lot of news with Lucasfilm overall, and I want to thank everybody who watched and who will watch. Thank you guys again. We know that this week kind of like put it out there sporadically. We were just like, you know what, we're gonna do a live stream. It's been a while, but make sure to tune in next week. We will be live. We will be doing it very, very a lot more much, very weekly. And let everybody know, Darth Hater, what you have coming up and where to find you and everything before we end.
You can find me on you guys already know Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, especially YouTube. Go to YouTube, obviously.
Please
Um,
get this man's watch time up.
please, I'm just kidding.
No,
Um,
no, no. He means it.
well, yeah, obviously there. We're coming up. Somebody's about to get monetized here. We have to do a giveaway for that because obviously I appreciate all you guys, and it's like you guys have been giving to me by helping me get this whole YouTube thing started. So I have to give something back to you. So stay tuned for that.
Yes, agreed, agreed. We'll do a double because I know you have one thing that you said you were gonna give away. Is it still you're still giving away that one thing I'm thinking of that you had told me that it's big?
Yeah, possibly.
Okay. Okay. No, the reason why I asked is
Possibly.
because maybe you and me could go maybe we could do something as a collab. Maybe we'll do like a nice lightsaber giveaway, you know. We'll talk to some people since we know we can maybe do a collab and
Hmm.
possibly do that. And maybe who knows, maybe actually we'll talk after the live stream. I actually have an idea that I just thought about. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today with me and my co-host Darth Hater. Spread the love of the eternal hater podcast all around. We're trying to do more things for you guys. We're trying to do, nice intros, maybe get some artwork done for the channel, for the intros as well. So just stay tuned for that. Be patient with us. Remember this whole YouTube game, as you guys remember when it was for me, it takes a while to get monetized. Darth Hater's on his way up. He's about to get there. So just, be patient with us. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys always tuning in and jumping in the comment section. Even if you're not here now, we know you guys always end up watching after the stream as well. So, and we put this out for you guys to watch, and maybe you're going to work or something. Enjoy your day and get caught up with all the latest Star Wars Lucasfilm news. But again,
Hmm.
thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I got nothing else to say. Anything from you?
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm just thank you guys for like listening and watching and subscribing, liking and commenting and doing everything, showing all the love you guys have been showing us over the lately over the past few years. And yeah, stay tuned. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna talk. Me and him are gonna talk after the stream and like see what we have coming up for you guys. Something
Oh yeah,
special.
yes for sure. A simple droid. Oh no, you're ending high and by. I am by.
You're late.
I know. I know.
You
Thank you.
missed it.
Well, catch the stream after we're done here. You can watch the whole thing from start to finish. It's an hour stream, literally. So again, appreciate you guys so much and stay sithin'. Later, guys.
Later, haters.